Hey guys, welcome back. Today we'll be learning about trigeminal nerve. So we all know that trigeminal nerve has three branches, that is ophthalmic nerve, maxillary nerve and mandibular nerve. So in part 1 of this video, we'll be learning about ophthalmic nerve and maxillary nerve in detail. So in the petrous part of the temporal bone, there is semilunar or Gasserian ganglion present. So this ganglion, it is located one on each side. It is crescent shaped and it is present in the Meckel's cavity. So this ganglion, it is from this ganglion the main three sensory branches of the trigeminal nerve emerges. So before that we'll learn about the sensory root and motor root of the trigeminal nerve. So from pons and medulla oblongata, this sensory root and motor root emerges. So coming on to sensory root, this sensory root, it emerges from the pons and medulla and it traverses forward and enters the concave portion of the ganglion. Similarly, this motor root also traverses forward and it traverses beneath the ganglion straight away towards the foramen ovale to exit the skull. Now this sensory root, when it enters the concave portion, from the convex portion of the ganglion, three sensory nerve branches emerges. This is the first one which travels along with the motor root. This is another one. And this. So these three sensory nerve branches, they emerges from the convex portion of the ganglion. This branch along with the motor root, it traverses outside the skull through the foramen ovale. Whereas these two branches, one branch which enters the orbit from superior orbital fissure, whereas the second branch which exits the skull through the foramen rotundum. Moving on to the flow chart, we all know that trigeminal nerve has large sensory root, whereas smaller motor root, as we have seen in the figure. This sensory root has three branches. This is branch 1, which branch 2 and branch 3. Branch 1, it enters the orbit and exits the skull through superior orbital fissure, which is called as ophthalmic nerve. Branch 2 exits the skull through foramen rotundum and is called as maxillary nerve. Branch 3, which exits the skull through foramen ovale along with the small motor root. This two together is called as mandibular nerve. So we'll be focusing on ophthalmic nerve first. So ophthalmic nerve, before entering the orbit, it gives off three main branches. So these three main branches are nasociliary nerve, lacrimal nerve and frontal nerve. Now these three main branches, they enter the orbit through superior orbital fissure, and entering the orbit, these nerves gives off several branches. So coming on to the nasociliary nerve further gets divided into anterior ethmoidal nerve, posterior ethmoidal nerve, long ciliary nerves, short ciliary nerves and infratrochlear nerve, whereas the frontal nerve further gets divided into supraorbital nerve and supratrochlear nerve. Now let's discuss each branch one by one. Moving on to nasociliary nerve first. So nasociliary nerve, as we have seen earlier, it has anterior ethmoidal nerve branch, posterior ethmoidal nerve, infratrochlear and ciliary nerves. Now this anterior ethmoidal nerve, it is further divided into internal nasal and external nasal. Internal nasal mostly supplies the internal part of the nose, such as nasal septum and lateral wall of nasal cavity, whereas external nasal branch, it usually supplies the external features of the nose, that is ala of the nose and apex of the nose. Posterior ethmoidal usually supplies sphenoidal and ethmoidal air sinuses. Infratrochlear usually supplies skin of lacrimal sac and lacrimal calancule. Now ciliary nerves, they get further divided into short and long ciliary nerves, whereas short ciliary nerves, it supplies eyeball, whereas long ciliary nerves supplies iris and cornea. Moving on to frontal nerve. Now we have discussed the nasociliary nerve, the first branch of ophthalmic nerve. Now we are moving on to second branch of ophthalmic nerve, that is frontal nerve. So this frontal nerve, it comes out supplying the conjunctiva and it moves towards the center, that is towards the medial part of the forehead. Now the first branch, it runs towards the medial part of the forehead, and this branch is called as supratrochlear nerve. So it supplies mainly to the conjunctiva as it comes out supplying the conjunctiva, then the medial aspect of upper eyelid and medial aspect of the forehead. Whereas another branch which comes out of the orbit and moves over the scalp. So this branch is called as supraorbital nerve. It supplies to upper eyelid, forehead and scalp from parietal bone to lambdoid suture. So the upper eyelid is supplied by the supraorbital nerve except the medial aspect, which is supplied by the supratrochlear nerve. Whereas the forehead is supplied by the supraorbital nerve except the medial aspect of the forehead, which is supplied by the supratrochlear nerve. Moving on to last branch, that is lacrimal nerve. So it is smallest branch of ophthalmic nerve and it supplies the lateral part of the eyelid, adjacent skin and lacrimal gland mainly. So seeing in the figure, we can judge the extent of the supply of the ophthalmic nerve. So the ophthalmic nerve, it mainly supplies the scalp, forehead area, eyelid and eye and nose. So in the eye, ophthalmic nerve mainly supplies conjunctiva, eyeball, lacrimal gland, iris and cornea, whereas in the nose it supplies nasal septum, apex of the nose, root of the nose, ala and paranasal air sinuses. Moving on to maxillary nerve. As the maxillary nerve supplies multiple areas, so to simplify it, it has been divided into the various areas where it supplies. So first of all, before exiting the skull, the maxillary nerve, it gives branch into the middle cranial fossa. So first area is branches within the cranium. Now from the cranium it exits through the foramen rotundum and it comes into pterygopalatine fossa, and there it gives several branches. So second area classification is branches within pterygopalatine fossa. Now the maxillary nerve, it comes out through the infraorbital foramen over the face and it gives some branches within the face. So third is branches within face. Whereas from pterygopalatine fossa to infraorbital foramen, the maxillary nerve traverses through the infraorbital canal. So there also it gives two branches. So the fourth option is branches within the infraorbital canal. So the maxillary nerve branches into four areas. First is cranium, then it comes into pterygopalatine fossa. From pterygopalatine fossa it enters into infraorbital canal, and from infraorbital canal it exits through the infraorbital foramen over the face. So cranium, pterygopalatine fossa, infraorbital canal and face. In these four areas, maxillary nerve gives multiple branches. Now this is the flow chart depicting an entire extent of the maxillary nerve from cranium to face. So the in general direction of the maxillary nerve is from ganglion to face through the infraorbital foramen. Now we would see each branches in each area in detail. Now in first compartment we can see that there is middle cranial fossa. So in middle cranial fossa, the maxillary nerve, before exiting the cranium, it gives one branch which is called as middle meningeal nerve. So this middle meningeal nerve, it supplies dura mater. After giving off this branch, the maxillary nerve, it exits the skull through foramen rotundum. As it comes out of the skull, it enters pterygopalatine fossa. And now in pterygopalatine fossa, this maxillary nerve trunk, it gives two branches to pterygopalatine ganglion, and this pterygopalatine ganglion further supplies various other structures such as nose, pharynx and palate. Moving further, this pterygopalatine ganglion gives a branch to the nose which enters through this phrenopalatine foramen. Next branch to the pharynx which enters through pharyngeal canal, and next branch to palate which enters through the palatine canals. Then from the main trunk there arises one more branch which is zygomatic nerve. This zygomatic nerve, it enters the orbit through the inferior orbital fissure. As it enters the orbit, it gives off two branches, zygomatico-temporal and zygomatico-facial. And now the nerve from the pterygopalatine fossa enters into the infraorbital canal. We can see the second column, infraorbital canal. In the infraorbital canal, the nerve gives off two branches. First branch is anterior superior alveolar nerve, and second branch is middle superior alveolar nerve. And then the nerve, it exits through the infraorbital foramen over the face. And before that, in the pterygopalatine fossa, the main trunk also gives one important branch which is much concern for us, that is posterior superior alveolar nerve. So we'll revise the names of the branches first. So in the middle cranial fossa, before exiting the skull, the maxillary nerve gives one branch, that is middle meningeal nerve. Then entering into pterygopalatine fossa, it gives zygomatic nerve. This zygomatic nerve, it enters the orbit and it gives zygomatico-temporal nerve and zygomatico-facial nerve. Next it gives posterior superior alveolar nerve. Then in the infraorbital canal it gives anterior superior alveolar nerve and middle superior alveolar nerve. In the nose, the nerve supplying is called as nasopalatine nerve. In pharynx it is pharyngeal nerve, whereas over the palate it is greater palatine nerve and lesser or middle palatine nerve. So this is the entire extent of the maxillary nerve till the pterygopalatine fossa. And now from pterygopalatine fossa it has entered the canal. From infraorbital canal it has given two branches, and from infraorbital canal to infraorbital foramen it has traversed and it has exited over the face. Now the trigeminal nerve, it exits from the infraorbital foramen over the face. Now what branches are seen over the face, we'll see in the next figure. Before that, we'll move on to the supplies and different branches of the nerve. So location wise, in the middle cranial fossa we have middle meningeal nerve which supplies the dura mater. In pterygopalatine fossa we have posterior superior alveolar nerve which supply maxillary molars and maxillary sinus. In the orbit we have zygomatico-temporal and zygomatico-facial nerve. Then as the name suggests, the zygomatico-temporal, it supplies the skin on the side of the forehead, that is temporal region, whereas zygomatico-facial, it supplies the skin on the prominence of the cheek. Then in the infraorbital canal again we have two branches, that is MSA nerve, that is middle superior alveolar nerve, and anterior superior alveolar nerve. So medial superior alveolar nerve, it supplies maxillary premolars and mesiobuccal root in maxillary first molars, whereas the anterior superior alveolar nerve, it supplies maxillary anteriors and anterior wall of sinus. So in short, the maxillary anteriors are supplied by anterior superior alveolar nerve, that is ASA nerve. Then maxillary premolars are supplied by MSA nerve, and maxillary molars are supplied by PSA nerve. So all the superior alveolar nerves, they supply maxillary anteriors, premolars and molars. Anterior for anteriors, middle superior for premolars, and posterior superior for molars. Then moving on to nose, we have nasopalatine nerve. So this nasopalatine nerve, it supplies nasal septum and floor of the nose. and after supplying the nasal floor, it emerges into the oral cavity through the incisive foramen or nasopalatine foramen, and after coming out over the palate, it supplies the palatal mucosa of premaxilla. Moving on to palatine area, we have greater palatine nerve and middle palatine nerve. So greater palatine nerve, it supplies mainly premolars and molars, and middle palatine nerve, it supplies soft palate and tonsillar area. So in the palatine area, the premolars and molars are supplied by the palatine nerve, whereas the incisors and canine is supplied by the nasopalatine nerves. Pharyngeal nerve supplies the nasal part of the pharynx. Now one more concept is there about the dental plexus. So the posterior superior alveolar nerve, middle superior alveolar nerve and anterior superior alveolar nerve. So these three nerves, their terminal branches to the teeth together are called as superior dental plexus. Their terminal branches form dental plexus, and these dental plexus are of three types: dental nerves, interdental nerves and interradicular nerves. So the dental nerves are those type of nerves which enter through the apical foramen and then they supply the pulp of the individual tooth. Whereas the interdental nerve are those nerves, as the name suggests, these nerves, they supply the interdental bone and they arise at the apex of the bone, and from the apex they supply the gingiva of the adjacent teeth. So they are present between the two adjacent teeth. Whereas interradicular nerves, they are present between the two adjacent roots, that is in case of multi-rooted teeth. Interradicular nerves are present. Now coming on to branches over the face. We are done with the branches of the cranium, branches in the pterygopalatine fossa, branches of the infraorbital canal, and lastly branches over the face of the face for the maxillary nerve. So we have learned till the infraorbital foramen. From infraorbital foramen, the maxillary nerve exits over the face. As the maxillary nerve exits, it gives its first branch, that is inferior palpebral, which supplies the skin of lower eyelid. Second branch, that is external nasal, which supplies the lateral aspect of the nose. And third is superior labial, which supplies the upper lip. So three branches are present within the face. First is inferior palpebral nerve, second is external nasal nerve, and third is superior labial nerve. They are named as the area they supply. So this is an entire picture of the maxillary nerve. So we will revise once. Hence it has been distributed accordingly as the areas. First is middle cranial fossa, second branches within the pterygopalatine fossa, third is branches within the face. So in middle cranial fossa, we see middle meningeal nerve branch. From there it exits the skull through foramen rotundum and it comes into the pterygopalatine fossa. So in pterygopalatine fossa, it gives off branches in the infraorbital canal when it enters. Then in pterygopalatine fossa, it gives zygomatic nerve branch. Then it gives branch to nose, branch to palate, innervation to pharynx, and posterior superior alveolar nerve. Now when the maxillary nerve it enters the infraorbital canal, it gives off further two branches as we have studied. One is MSA, that is middle superior alveolar nerve, and second is ASA, that is anterior superior alveolar nerve. Then the zygomatic nerve, it enters the orbit, and in the orbit it gives off again two branches, zygomatico-temporal and zygomatico-facial nerve. Then next in the nose, the branch which arises is nasopalatine nerve. Then palatine nerves, which is greater palatine nerve and middle palatine nerve or lesser palatine nerve. In pharynx, pharyngeal nerve. Now over the face, what all branches we see is three branches according to the supply. First, superior labial, which supplies the upper lip. Second, external nasal, which supplies the side of the nose. And third, inferior palpebral nerve, which supplies the lower eyelid. And next, lastly, the concept of dental plexus, So dental plexus is mainly formed by the combination of terminal branches of superior alveolar nerves, that is posterior PSA plus MSA plus ASA, that is posterior superior alveolar nerve plus middle superior alveolar nerve plus anterior superior alveolar nerve. So the terminal branches of all these three nerves, they together form a superior dental plexus. As in the figure we can see the extent of the ophthalmic nerve, we would see the extent of the supply of the maxillary nerve too. I hope you like the video. I'll be back with part 2 of the trigeminal nerve, in which we'll be learning in detail about the mandibular nerve. I hope you like the video. Please like, share and subscribe. Thank you. See you soon.